You're listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. For grounding your ass from all the New Age sass. I am your host, Jeff Hinshaw. Season 5 of Cosmic Cousins is dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. Hey, Cosmic Cousins. Welcome back to another week of the show. I had to re-record this first part because my phone kept ringing, and I've noticed that working with this Aquarian energy, when I sit down to record, all of these things will start happening. Like, for instance, group texts are going off right now, even as I speak. Brandon Alter is my Aquarius brother, and every time I sit down to record one of these Aquarius episodes, I'll get a text from Brandon, and it's also this group text I'm in, which we call the Witches, and it's just me and a group of friends here in LA, and we kind of send astrology memes back and forth to each other. Friendship, technology, right? These are Aquarian themes. I've also been encountering conversations around conspiracies and aliens this past week. I went to San Francisco this past weekend to go see Fortet, a show, and for some reason, I don't know, maybe it is Aquarius season, but I kept running into extraterrestrial conversations. Like, I would interact with people that were interested in this, and I'd also hear other people in the streets talking about it. I also had governmental conspiracy theories arise a lot. And it wasn't always necessarily like grounded in like being really serious about it, but it was just sort of like where our conversations were going. Like, people were saying, be careful what you say around your phone because the government is listening. But on my end, I'm sort of like, I'm not trying to hide anything, so I don't really care. All of this, the conspiracy theories, extraterrestrial conversations. I don't know, maybe it was San Francisco, maybe that's a thing there, but I have a feeling it might also be the influence of this Aquarian energy. So to be sure, we're going to talk about Aquarius's connection to extraterrestrials on this week's episode. I've gotten a few people ask me, why is Aquarius connected to aliens? So we'll talk about that. Aquarius is also about liberation and equality for all. So we're going to talk about Black History Month and its connection to Aquarius. And then, of course, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, which also happens to be my birthday. So whether or not you celebrate this holiday of love and romance, it's so important in our astrology practice to have an awareness of the culture that we live in. So we're going to talk about Valentine's Day and its connection to Aquarius. And we will also be lightly covering intercepted charts, exploring the Age of Aquarius. We'll be honoring Aquarius queens Alicia Keys, who just hosted the Grammys, and my personal favorite, Regina Spektor, we'll be talking about on the show this week. And I'll update you on the Queen of Aquarius. We're down to our final 4, which means next week on the show, we're going to have our Aquarius panel, and we'll be crowning the first ever Cosmic Cousins Queen of Aquarius. But before we get into all of that, let's bring it to our bodies and to our breath for a guided meditation for embodied health. Here on Cosmic Cousins, we always start off by bringing our awareness to our bodies and to our breath. And this show is just as much about astrology and information and self-discovery as it is an opportunity to bring some sort of loving self-care into your life. And so wherever you are, just take a moment to slow down. to slow down the breath and really take in this moment. Aquarius, right, is our cosmic air sign. So when meditating on this energy, or when we're moving through Aquarius season, we might feel super cosmic, up in our heads, in our thoughts, thinking really big picture, looking towards the future, taking other people into consideration. And maybe we're out of our bodies entirely. So as an Aquarius, as we move through Aquarius season, it's so important to breathe into this present moment. So Aquarius is the sign in astrology that is connected to the practice of astrology. And so here we are exploring Aquarian energy by this being an astrology podcast. So whenever we're tuning into this show, right, we're also tuning into Aquarian energy in some way. It's technology, it's astrology. And we know that in soul-centered astrology, all the signs evolve when they can bring balance to their traits by exploring the archetypes of the wheel of astrology, and especially those that are on the opposite side of the wheel. This is called polar signs. So polar signs hold a thread of purpose. So Aquarius's polar sign is Leo, and this is the brave lion, right? It's full of life and expression and passion. So Aquarius, as it's connected to the stars in the sky in astrology, is super cosmic. It's expansive. It's big picture energy. Leo, on the other hand, Aquarius's polar sign, is connected to the sun, which is also a star in the sky, but it's singular, and it's at the center of our solar system. So if you've ever heard a Leo being called self-centered, it could be referring to this, right? The sun is the center of our solar system. So in a way, this is a role that Leo is playing, to be the center of it all. So Aquarius is considered the outsider, orbits society. It's connected to the stars, which are the center to other solar systems, perhaps, or other galaxies. But Leo, the sun, is the center of our solar system. So for Aquarius to evolve through Leo, it's about bringing it back to this planet, being in this solar system. The sun, Leo's ruling planet, shines light to our conscious reality. It allows us to see here in this present moment. The stars, on the other hand, Aquarius, shine light to our cosmic inheritance, as I like to call it, to our extraterrestrial selves. But if Aquarius is too in their Aquarius energy, they're floating off too far into the cosmos, and they can become alien. And so it's through the heart of the lion, it's through connecting to the sun, through paying attention to this present moment, Leo, it's very present, it's very instinctual. There's a primal instinct that we feel with Leo. Leo is inspiring Aquarius to be here in their bodies, in their emotions, in this experience, in their heart. So we can breathe into the nervous system to honor Aquarius. And you can imagine as you breathe into the nervous system, you're breathing into stars, out into the galaxy. Breathing into your cosmic inheritance. And so you can imagine stars all over your entire body. We are nothing but a collection of stardust. I remember Whoopi Goldberg saying at the beginning of a documentary that I saw at the Natural History Museum in New York City, where it was in the IMAX theater, and there's stars all around you. You're in this big dome, and Whoopi Goldberg says, "We're nothing but a collection of stardust." Whoopi is an Aquarius rising. So as you breathe into the nervous system and connect to this, can you connect to the stardust within you? And then breathe into the heart of the lion, of Leo. Channel all of that cosmic energy into the heart. And so the heart is like the sun in our solar system. Breathing into the body, breathing into this present moment. Breathing into the heart of the lion. Breathe the stars into your heart. Fill it up with love. Love is a state that we can cultivate through our presence. And our astrology practice is meant to be a tool, yes, to give us a big picture, objective understanding of this universe, Aquarius, and how we fit into it, right? But it is also a practice of love. Astrology is a practice to cultivate love in our lives and to bring healing to our relationships. Which is why it feels so appropriate for Valentine's Day, this holiday of love and romance, to fall here in Aquarius season. So for this moment, let us practice the feeling of love, of being loved, of being seen, of being celebrated. So breathe into your heart and say to yourself, I'm open and receptive to all forms of love. Breathe all of that in. Maybe you place your hands on your heart and say it again. I am open and receptive to all forms of love. Aquarius, when we're in this energy, is open and receptive. It's the Fool in the tarot, and the heart's wide open. But Aquarius might be open and receptive to innovative new ideas and solutions for the futures and ways of bringing about some sort of social change. So it's important for this Aquarian energy to come back to the heart, to come back to love. So I'm open and receptive to all forms of love. This is bringing a balance to Aquarius. And the more that we can practice this feeling of being loved, because we're all in this Aquarius energy, it's the age of Aquarius, of being present with a heart, the more we open ourselves up to receiving it. And so call in love into your life. And notice how you might be shielding yourself from this. Aquarius season and Aquarius energy in general can block us from receiving love. It can feel distant and cold, like the stars in the sky. So by bringing your awareness to your heart, the center of your chakra system, right? You're bringing it back to you and reminding yourself of the importance it is to be loved and to feel loved as a human, no matter how alien you feel. Aquarius season, we might disconnect. We might find ourselves closing off to personal love. We might be focusing more on big picture love and connection. Aquarian, the humanitarian. So how can we be more present this time of year with love in our life, with our hearts, with being heart-centered? Can you look at the world around you through this lens of being here on this planet, being present with this experience, the magic of being here? And so wherever you are today and this week, or if you're listening to this off in the future, I'm wishing for you more love and healing connection in your life. And you can make that wish for yourself as well. Aquarius is connected to making a wish upon a star. So if you're able to, close your eyes and connect to a star far off in the galaxy. And tune into that star, and you can make a wish for more love and healing in your life. Happy Valentine's Day, cousins. And happy towards the end of Aquarius season. Thanks for being here as always. In order to understand astrological energy, it's important for us to not only observe the culture around us, but also be present with it and perhaps even participate in it. Leo would be inviting us to participate, right? To balance out the Aquarius energy. So you can think Valentine's Day serves as one of these opportunities. So yes, Aquarius, we could say Aquarius is lovable. Aquarius is known as having starry eyes, a bright smile, the ability to capture the essence or the feeling of amazement. It's same as like when you're looking up into the starry night sky. Aquarius might have that capability. That's where they resonate. Aquarius is also associated with being popular. So it's a group energy. It's an air sign. So this is a collective air sign. So air is communicative and social energy. So when you add in collective to it, Aquarius is social and group energy. So often Aquariuses will find themselves as the center force to a group of friends or organizations, which again is giving us that Leo polarity, as Leo being the sun in the middle. Jennifer Aniston is an Aquarius. I didn't put her in the Queen of Aquarius, but I thought it would be cool to mention her because we know her as from the popular TV show Friends, right? And she's the central character. But Aquarius may not have the biggest personality in the group, right? But they might be liked by everyone. Jennifer Aniston is also best friends with Ellen DeGeneres, which I just learned. And the two of them are both Aquariuses. Aquariuses often make really good friends with one another. And Jennifer Aniston is tied with Ellen DeGeneres for the most People Choice Awards, right? People's Choice. Aquarius is the people, and there's a popularity that they might exude. So both of these women, as Aquarians, have the record for the most People Choice Awards. So there's no denying Aquarius's connection to the group energy. Here, we feel it. And so Aquarius can often be typecast as the one who's eccentric or the weirdo or the alien. And this isn't always nailing it with Aquarius. That's one side of Aquarius. There's obviously going to be different manifestations of this energy depending on your upbringing and where you're living and your modality of moving through the world. Aquarius is, they have the ability to connect to an entire room, but not in a way that's drawing attention towards them. It feels much more on an intellectual level. So knowing what the group mind is thinking, Aquariuses might be more tapped into collective thoughts, right? This is collective air. But again, I want to bring it back to this theme, and it's why I want to talk to you about the Age of Aquarius today, is because we are all honorary Aquariuses during this time period. We are connected to the group's thoughts. If you log onto Facebook, you'll see people's thoughts just popping up onto your screen. When you receive text from people, it's starting to become a little bit more telepathic, right? This is the Age of Aquarius. And so Aquarius is feeling this Aquarius sun. This is the light that they're shining out to the world, so it might be a little bit more prominent to them. Aquarius moon, their emotions might be deeply affected by the thoughts of other people. Aquarius rising is waking up to their potential to come into this and with expanse. So Aquarius being typecast as the weirdo or the eccentric one is just one facet of Aquarius. It's much more about this group mind. And so Oprah Winfrey, right, is a perfect example of this. Being able to walk into a room and talk to the entire room and to broadcast ideas out to the collective in a way that is directly connected to what the group is wanting to talk about. Right? Rosa Parks is another example of this, is harnessing the ability to start a movement of the people. And she did it also in a very bold and brave way, evolving through Leo to stand in her truth. So what I think about with Valentine's Day is that even though it is said to be a day of romance, for me in my own life, and since it is my birthday, I might have a different experience of this day. I'm just sharing my experience. It's always felt like to me a day to reach out to your friends and tell them that you love them. It's a day to reach out to your family, tell them that you love them. It hasn't necessarily always felt romantic, but this is also the first year I'm really in a relationship to experience that, so this will be interesting. But there is a connection to group for me on this day, and I'll explain. So I remember as a child in elementary school, on Valentine's Day, it was kind of like a big deal. You would give each kid in the classroom like a little card and maybe like a popsicle, or not a popsicle, like a sucker, or like some sort of like sweethearts that had like little notes on them. Again, words, right, are connected to air signs. And you didn't just give one Valentine out. You didn't just pick one person to be your Valentine. You gave them out to everyone, right? Aquarius. And a lot of thought for me would go into it. Again, Aquarius thinking into who would get which Valentine. But I didn't necessarily put a lot of emotion into it. Also Aquarius. So Valentine's Day may at times be an opportunity to tell everyone that you love them. Aquarius. But on a lower form, it may at times only go as deep as like a removed, emotionless, generic Valentine card that is not personalized for you, but it's given to every other person in the classroom. So this could also be a facet of Aquarius. Again, going to Oprah. Oprah's not individually connecting with every person in her audience, but she's sending out a message to everyone. And you might all get a card too. So again, tuning into Valentine's Day is a way to tune into this Aquarian energy. There's more culture happening during Aquarius season as well. This time of year, at least in the United States and Canada, is also simultaneously Black History Month, which started out just as 1 week because many African Americans celebrated their freedom during Frederick Douglass's birthday week, celebrating freedom. This is Aquarius. And Frederick Douglass happens to also be born on Valentine's Day. So if you aren't familiar with Frederick Douglass, he was a national leader of the abolitionist movement in Massachusetts and New York. Again, Aquarius as a fixed air sign, fixed is a leader. Aquarius is the leader of the people collective through words, air. And it's particularly one that is forward moving for social causes. And he was an incredible perceptive speaker. Aquarius, connected to communication, especially for social causes and mass liberation. He was also an anti-slavery writer. Again, air signs can also be connected to writing, particularly in regards to social causes. So this actual Aquarius, Frederick Douglass, inspired not only just a week, but an entire month of a very Aquarian, humanitarian-like theme of freedom, honoring freedom. And it's also to offer up respect and to honor and acknowledge the lives of a group of people who get overlooked, unfairly mistreated, marginalized. So Aquarius is connected to the outsider. It's connected to those being treated unfairly. It's connected to the underdog, and not necessarily like the individual underdog, not just one person, but especially groups of people who aren't being treated fairly. So we see Aquarius has all of these different sides to it, as all of the astrological signs, but Aquarius, with its connection to the stars in the sky, it can sometimes feel like scattered, and the Aquarian energy might feel different for each Aquarian. It's because it's about individuality, but individuality and how that it fits into the whole. So it could be eccentric, it could be weird, it could be innovative, it could be popular, it could be speaker, right? But what's important is that whatever mode this Aquarius energy is coming through, it is for it to be heart-centered, right? So Valentine's Day, right? It could be surface level, the generic Valentine's Day card, but it could also be an opportunity to tell everyone you love them. And there's also the more inclusive and humanitarian side of this time of year with Black History Month. And really, there is a lot of contradiction with air signs. All the air signs, I think we talked about this last week, air is light and unphysical. It has this transparency to it. It's invisible. It may be hard to grasp, right? Duality was something that we did go over last week, and we were talking about Gemini reconciling between the split twins, our Libra balancing the scales. And so Aquarius is maneuvering between Saturnian energy and Uranian energy, which we talked about those two planets on last week's episode. And so Aquarius is teetering between dogma, we could say, which is Saturn, and innovation, which is Uranus. So as a collective air sign, Aquarius season inspires us to look at these aspects in our life and how can we make sense of it all so that we can offer freedom for the collective, to be involved in community circles or group settings, using the power of technology to reach a large cross-section of people with the power of information, making information available for everyone. So pay attention to all of these themes this time of year. The Aquarius incarnation is in its highest. It's about being the water bearer, as I'm sure you've heard it called. So it's being the baptizer of humanity. This is the goal, to step up into the role as the baptizer of humanity, to cleanse others with new philosophies, to open their minds and connect them to cosmic truth, to connect them to their cosmic energy of being nothing but a collection of stardust. The phrase for Aquarius is, I know. So those who are born under this influence of this archetype have a lot to learn about owning their beliefs and philosophies, and then presenting them in a way that is of service to others through the I know. So Aquarius, we talked a little bit in the meditation about Aquarius's connection to being an alien. So this time of year can also get you into tuning into that. What do aliens mean to you? What is your connection to them? Do you believe in aliens? And I posted when we had our final 8 Aquarius queens, our great 8, which we'll talk about in a bit, what people's reactions were to them. And one of the reactions that someone said was this, quote, maybe it's just my inner alien weirdo, but none of them seem as out there as I expected. So let's talk about it. Aquarius is being out there. Aquarius evolves through Leo, which we talked about. And so this, when we're feeling into who is the queen of Aquarius and who's giving us high vibe Aquarius, we're going to be looking at people who feel balanced, who feel like they've evolved through Leo. So last week when we said goodbye to Yoko Ono, people voted Rosa Parks forward, and Rosa Parks really gave us the bravery of the lion. So Aquarius evolves through Leo to bring, to make their eccentric out there self more relatable to the general public. Aquarius in a lower form might not be able to relate to other people, but it's through breathing into this solar system, into this sun, into this experience, into life here on this planet, that Aquarius can then connect to others. So the alien side of Aquarius refers to the unique ability of the Aquarian to channel cosmic downloads from the galaxy. If you are an Aquarius, or really all of us, since it's the age of Aquarius, we have this ability to tune into the stars and receive information. So, right, we said Aquarius is connected to astrology, to astronomy. It's also connected to extraterrestrials, to universal truths, to time travel. But if Aquarius stays too fixated, right, fixed there on this Aquarian energy, they may become distant, unrelatable, spacey, right, cold, out there, or alien. So by evolving through Leo, Aquarius brings cosmic information to the collective in a way that speaks to the human heart. Leo, the heart. So this will manifest through a lot of different ways, but it can often manifest through technology. For instance, Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, it's undeniable to notice that both of these women are Aquariuses, to have talk shows that are aligned with cosmic truths, that interview Leo-like figures. Leo rules over celebrities. And so what it's doing is it's relating extraterrestrial universal truths to the general public. And I actually, that's what we do on this show. We're talking about celebrities, Leo, in a very Aquarian way, to bring it back to a more collective understanding of archetypes and universal truth. And I actually had a psychic tell me, this is when I was living in Hawaii, I sat down with a psychic, and she was like, "Oh, you communicate with aliens." And I was sort of like, no, I don't. And she was like, "No, you communicate with aliens." And she was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm an astrologer." And then she just started laughing. And I kind of felt awkward because I'm like, that's not what I'm doing here. And then she was like, "Tell me more about your astrology practice. What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I host a podcast." She was like, "What's the name of the podcast?" And I was like, "It's called Cosmic Cousins." And then she started laughing even harder this time. And she was like, "You're connected to aliens." So I just kind of want to pause right there. Whether or not this is information that's coming from aliens or not, it might appear that way to other people. This could be the alien energy, and maybe that's what she was tuning into. I'm not consciously tuning into extraterrestrial information. But what I am doing is tuning into the frequencies of different energies that are inspired and aligned with the energies of the cosmos. So it might feel or seem alien. And, of course, there's the other side of maybe I am making contact to aliens and they're speaking through me. That's not my intention. My intention is to connect here with you on Earth about understanding a greater, more objective perspective. I think it's summed up in a quote from Ellen DeGeneres. She says, "The only thing that scares me more than space aliens is the idea that there aren't any space aliens. We can't be the best that creation has to offer. I pray we're not all there is. If so, we're in big trouble." So there is this connection to Aquarian energy of knowing that there's other energy out there in the cosmos, and acknowledging that and knowing that we can connect to the energy of things that aren't on this planet, like the stars in the sky. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Age of Aquarius, because people say that this is the age where we'll make contact with aliens. So an astrological age is a time period in astrologic theology, right, which astrologers use to mark major changes in the development of Earthlings, okay? So particularly it's going to relate to culture, to society, to politics. We know there's 12 astrological signs. So this means there's 12 different astrological ages, and they correspond to the 12 different zodiacal signs. So we just moved into the Age of Aquarius. The length of one of the cycles to go through all 12 ages, it's about 25,000 years. I think it's 25,860 years. So some astrologers believe that during that given age, some events are directly caused or indirectly influenced by the astrological sign that we're in. while other astrologers will say that the different astrological ages do not influence events in any way. I fall on the side where I definitely think we are under the umbrella of Aquarius right now. It's undeniable to me, the fact that I'm sitting here looking at my laptop, sitting in my room alone. I have a microphone in my hand, and I'm connecting to thousands of people out there that are tuning into the show. So as a whole, what we're doing is all of humanity is functioning with an Aquarius ascendant. So again, the exact dates aren't agreed upon in the astrology community, but what is agreed is that right around the beginning of our Gregorian calendar in the year 0 was the beginning of the Age of Pisces. Others say that in the year 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar was the beginning of the Age of Aquarius. That's what I use as a marker. I just think that this going into the internet age, this age of information, is the Age of Aquarius. So we're just at the first degree here of this age. So the ages go backwards. So it was the Age of Pisces before, and now we're moving into the Age of Aquarius. So we're just at that first degree of Aquarius, which is actually the end of Aquarius, the 29th degree. And we'll be in that degree for about 250 years, roughly 200 years maybe. I don't know the exact time period off the top of my head, but what it is doing is we're on this Pisces Aquarius cusp. So let's talk a little bit about what this means. So for all of us as a collective, we are influenced by this Aquarian ascendant. So all of humanity is functioning as an Aquarius rising. So this whole 2000 and some change time period is activating from Aquarius. And so we all incarnated, if we're looking at it through this lens, we all incarnated to assist in the ushering of what is called the New Age. And so we're all leaders in this new movement, especially if you are an Aquarius. This is a part of what you're doing because your rising sign or sun sign or moon sign is in alignment with the ascendant line of the collective. And so if you are an Aquarius rising, you're a very special individual because this is the Age of Aquarius. And so the collective is an Aquarius rising, and so are you. And so your rising sign indicates what your soul's purpose for incarnation is. And so this reveals that as a collective, Aquarius rising, or if you are an individual who's an Aquarius rising, you incarnated here to assist in the ushering of the new Aquarian age. So this role will have to do with setting an example of living in a way that is ushering us into a more humanitarian focus, expanding the minds of others to tune into the stars. So this is an age of astrology. This is an age of technology. And it's all of these things through a social lens. So it's activating the collective. It's looking towards the future. It's time travel, it's aliens, it's all of these revolutionary concepts. It's working through and connecting with others on the internet, through technology, electricity. So really focus your intentions and expansions, if you're really feeling this Aquarius rising energy, on information that assists people in achieving freedom. Right? So how can we utilize technology to assist people in achieving freedom? And it's freedom from commitments that are not productive to the growth of community, but also the growth of individuality within that. So an Aquarius rising, our rising sign, aren't necessarily our natural mode of existing. Whatever your rising sign, it might not come naturally to you. It's what you're waking up to within yourself. It's what I like to call your superconscious reality. It's what we're learning to expand into. And so what we're seeing here is that things might happen in your life that challenge this. So you may feel as though you need to be all things to everyone. This is Aquarius. This is what we might be feeling as a collective. And we feel it when we log into Facebook. We have to respond to everyone's text message right away. And so this can be very exhausting to the Aquarian energy because it needs freedom, cosmic air, right? So learning how to be an individual on your own, to break yourself free from the constructs of what society tells you need to look like, feel like, think like, to be a productive human on this planet. So Aquarius rising, which again is for everyone, but especially you as an Aquarius rising, is to create your own life. It's to be a unique individual, to not fall into a mainstream way of doing things. This can be in your career, having an innovative career. This can be having a innovative way to connect in relationships. It's living life on your own timeline. Aquarius risings are radicals and revolutionaries in their own right. And so this is giving us a glimpse into the future. And so we're here to learn about freedom and individuality, but using technology and tools like the internet to expand our consciousness for ourselves and for other people, to make information available to everyone. So during the Age of Aquarius, which by the way, we're going to be in it for some time, and we've got some major Aquarius transits coming up. Saturn will enter Aquarius in a few years. Pluto will enter Aquarius just after that. Jupiter will be in Aquarius in 2021. So Pluto will be in Aquarius for about 30 years. Saturn will be there for about 2.5. So we're gonna be feeling a lot of shifts over the next few decades in relationship to this Aquarian energy. And I hope that we can continue to stay connected so that we're here together through that. But when we can begin to utilize technology and tools like the internet to make information available widely so that we're all able to tune into our cosmic inheritance, this is us ushering in the new age. So shying away from social media is not recommended by this age of Aquarius, which I know we might all have some sort of dilemma in. If you're shying away from social media, it might be because your focus is too into whatever your astrological sign is. But how can we expand out to make it our greatest tool? If we're using social media, the internet, our phones as a tool for communicating universal truths, this is going to expand our potential and activate and awaken us to our cosmic inheritance. So how can you better utilize these tools to reach a wide cross-section of people? And when we do this, when we answer to this higher vibration and this law that is more expansive than our current binding concepts that are creating separation, what we're doing is we're directing our life force towards unification. And this is unification of all nations, of all people, of all races into the one family, hence the name Cosmic Cousins. So this podcast is an actual representation of the Age of Aquarius. Whatever it is that your offering is here, how is it somehow bringing about equality or freedom for all? So there's no escaping this purpose at this time for bringing people together to realize our own innate worthy of being individuals. It's diversity through unity. So happy Age of Aquarius, cousins. As we come towards the end of Aquarius season, since we're as a collective at the 29th degree of Aquarius, the second to last day of Aquarius season, is our collective's rising self birthday. And so we can celebrate that this week, and we'll celebrate it next week when we crown our first ever Queen of Aquarius. Thanks for being here. I've got a few announcements for you. So I have a 12-week course coming up for those of you who are interested in diving more deeply into astrology, for really connecting to it, embodying it. So this course is coming up in March, and we'll gather for 12 weeks. If you'd like more information on this, you can email me at jeff@brooklynfools.com, or you can go to astrologycousins.com. And while you're there, I also offer 90-minute personalized astrology readings that come to you in the form of MP3s, which you can book on astrologycousins.com as well. And I have a few slots open for one-on-one mentorships. I offer a 12-week astrology mentorship. We gather once a week for 12 weeks, and we honor each of the 12 astrological signs. And I also have a 6-month one-on-one tarot immersion, private immersion available. If you're interested in that, you can find out more information at brooklynfools.com. And again, as always, this show is coming to you free of charge by our Patreon supporters. Patreon is a website that allows artists and mystics to put offerings out in the world and receive some sort of compensation. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down, there is a Patreon for the show in which you can make a monthly donation to the podcast, Cosmic Cousins. And this week we have one new Patreon supporter. A big special shout out thank you goes to Elizabeth Robinson. Thanks for your support. And I'd also like to answer a question. We have a question this week on the show. So this question is sent in by Alice. And Alice writes, "Hi Jeff, I'm wondering if you'd ever do an episode about hidden intercepted houses. Aquarius and Leo should correspond with my 4th and 10th houses, but they're skipped. I've been able to find a little information on it via Google searches, but never felt like I've been able to fully grasp the concept, what it means for my chart. I'm not sure how common this is for it to be relevant enough to have an entire episode for it, but I definitely would appreciate one. Thanks, Alice." Thank you, Alice, for writing in. Let's talk a little bit about intercepted charts. So all of the astrological signs in the zodiacal wheel are the same size. They all have 30 degrees each. Astrology houses in our charts, however, can have different sizes, unless you're using the equal house system. But oftentimes we want to be a little bit more specific, because the houses and angles of a birth chart are worked out on the axis of Earth. So the further away that you were born from the equator, the greater chances your birth chart's going to have is having different house sizes. And so this makes it possible for some signs to be what is called intercepted. So intercepted is when you have a house that's larger than 30 degrees, and we could say it's engulfing an entire sign. So a sign that is totally enclosed in a house is what is called intercepted. And so that means that they're not beginning at the cusp of any house, and oftentimes we'll say that the sign that's on the cusp of a house is the owner of that house. And so not every chart is going to have intercepted signs. And an interception is only when we have at least 3 signs in a house. All charts will have at least 2 signs in a house. So the thing about this is that when a sign is intercepted in a house, it means that it's not on the cusp of a house, and it's trapped, are engulfed in that house. But these are words that I've heard are more traditionally associated with interceptions. And I actually would kind of like to come up with a better term for intercepted, because it still is kind of evoking this feeling of it being bad or wrong, and that's not the case. Quite simply, the thing with intercepted charts is saying that when it is that season, so in Alice's chart, we have Leo and Aquarius as intercepted, which is cool because here we are in Aquarius Leo, polarity, right? We're in Aquarius season. So we're looking at both of these. So for Alice, we would say that they're during Aquarius season, whatever house Aquarius is in will be themes during that season. So you can literally follow the sun by the degree that is happening in the sky right now, and then look and see how it lines up in your chart. So what's traditionally said about intercepted charts is that they can often feel like trapped in the energy. So for instance, like Leo intercepted, we could think of like a caged lion. So perhaps there's some sort of relationship to your self-esteem in this house. Maybe because that's what Leo's connected to. So maybe it's not allowing yourself to roar or to be seen. So know here that this isn't, that you aren't silly to allow yourself to shine or to create. So telling yourself that you deserve praise, that you deserve love, especially in relationship to whatever house Leo is intercepted in. Intercepted Aquarius is about innovation and original ideas. So having Aquarius intercepted in a house could indicate feelings of isolation in this house, or the need to please others. So encouraging yourself to really have innovation, particularly in relationship to the house that it resides in, would be beneficial. So really the intercepted energy is just saying that it's all fixated in one house, which in some ways can be quite powerful. If you have Aquarius in your third house, it's saying that you're communicating about Aquarius things. So notice and see what house Aquarius is in your chart and how that might be influencing the energy of this time of year. That's literally, we're just skimming the surface with this topic. If this is something you're interested in learning about more, we do talk about intercepted charts in mentorships and immersions and things like that. So, or if you'd like to book a reading, we could also go into it more deeply if this is something in your chart that you're feeling called to more deeply understanding. But know that your chart is beautiful and perfect just the way it is. And so working with its energy and understanding your intercepted charts is going to bring about a greater healing to your life. And so thank you again, Alice, for writing that question in. That was a very great question. If anyone else has questions, please feel free to reach out to me on the Instagram for the show, which is cosmic.cousins, or you can email me, and I'd love to hear from you. And so at this time, we can transition into the last part of our show, which is Queen of Aquarius. So here on Cosmic Cousins, we're working on a project that's called Queen of the Zodiac. We've crowned all the queens from Taurus all the way up to Capricorn, and now we're working on Queen of Aquarius. And so I'd like to update you on what's been going on. So last week, we talked about how Audre Lorde and Ellen DeGeneres made it into our Aquarius Grade 8. One of these two women will make it into our Aquarius Final 4. And so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Ellen DeGeneres and how Ellen is giving us Aquarian feel. So Ellen DeGeneres is an Aquarius sun, an Aries moon, and a Sagittarius rising, making her a innovative little girl, riding a horse at sunrise, expanding the horizons of our world. That's exactly what she's done through her life and work. Ellen DeGeneres is an American comedian, television host, actress, writer, producer, and LGBT activist, and she starred in the popular sitcom Ellen from 1994 to 1998 and has hosted her syndicated TV talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, since 2003. But what feels really Aquarius about Ellen is her ability to confidently claim her individuality in a way that's empowering the collective to open their hearts and mind. And so Ellen, right, was the first person to nationally come out on television. So Ellen's impact, it goes well beyond her funky dance moves. She is a symbol for the gay community. It's really influenced equal rights for LGBT. And after her coming out, so she came out on her show. After coming out on the episode that was released, Ellen then publicly announced she was also gay, and she actually did it on the Oprah Winfrey Show, showing us that Aquarius to Aquarius connection. But often Aquarius is holding some sort of karmic ties to being outcast from the group. So this is a tempering process to prime Aquarius to stand up and use their voice for the other outsider. So Ellen's decision to come out got her outcast and fired from ABC, and she was unemployed for 3 years. No one would book her for anything. But she still continued to use her platform for activism and rallying. And in 2001, after being turned down time and time again, she finally got contact to someone who was interested in her, and by 2003 she launched her talk show, and her career kicked off on primetime TV after that. In addition, Ellen is also an incredible humanitarian, and for instance, when her hometown of New Orleans was hit by Hurricane Katrina, she raised over $10 million to rebuild homes and neighborhoods. But in the end, y'all were feeling Audre Lorde, the incredible American writer, feminist, womanist, and civil rights activist, putting Audre Lorde into our Aquarius Final Four. So we'll talk about Audre Lorde next week. Then up next, in our next corner of our little bracket, and so if you aren't following the Instagram for the show, there's a bracket. It looks like a sports bracket. There's 16 women, and then we vote on who out of the 2 women feel the most Aquarius, and then they move into the next round. So in the next corner, we had Alicia Keys and Rosa Parks. And so these 2 women we were looking at through the lens of Aquarius and asking who feels more Queen of Aquarius. So let's talk about the great Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys was born on January 25th, 1981, and is an Aquarius Sun, Mars, and Mercury. Alicia Keys is exuding the King of Swords energy for sure. There's a calm and bold authority with her words. She's a 15-time Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter, classically trained pianist, and is also a humanitarian, which will be cool for us to talk about today. She's also sold 65 million albums worldwide, so there is definitely a legendary side to Alicia Keys. Aquarius is associated with sparking the revolution, and Alicia's music will often shine a light to big picture humanitarian global issues. I want to play a clip from one of her songs. It's called We Are Here. There's an up-tempo ballad to it, and she is working out and describing her frustrations with both national and international issues, including the conflict between Israel and Gaza and the outbreaks of the Ebola virus, as well as problems with education and gun laws in the United States. So I'd like to read you some of the lyrics from this song so that you can feel into the humanitarian Aquarian energy. So Alicia writes, "We are here. We are here for all of us." Aquarius, right, is about knowing that there's a greater universal family, but that we are here. And this is evolving through Leo. We're here in this present moment, but we're here for all of us. Then she says, that's why we are here. Why we are here, we are here. And then she goes into bombs over Baghdad, trying to get something we ain't never had. Let's start with a good dad. So real, but it's so sad. And while we're burning this incense, we're going to pray for the innocent. Because right now, it don't make sense. Right now, it don't make sense. Let's talk about Chi-Town. Let's talk about Gaza. Let's talk about Israel. Right now, it's real. Let's talk about Nigeria and a mass hysteria. Yeah, our souls are brought together so that we could learn to love each other, brother. So let's talk. Aquarius is an air sign. It is about communicating, but it's not necessarily about communicating about your neighborhood or your relationships. Gemini, Libra, it's about talking about the collective. So here Alicia's doing this. Our souls are brought together so that we can learn to love each other. This is Aquarius. This is an Aquarian truth. And then she says brother. Aquarius is connected to brotherhood and sisterhood. So let's tune into a clip from the song so that we can feel into these Aquarian themes.
And while we burning this incense, we gon' pray for the innocent. Cause right now it don't make sense. Right now it don't make sense. Let's talk about Chi-Town. Let's talk about Gaza. Let's talk about Israel. Right now with Israel. Let's talk Nigeria in a mass hysteria. Yeah, our souls are brought together so that we could love each other, brother. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here.
This is the Age of Aquarius right here. And Alicia Keys is actually the host this week of the Grammys. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that because there were a lot of themes happening here. And Alicia was looking gorgeous and started out coming onto stage and says, I want everyone in here who might be feeling a little nervous, might be feeling a lot of energy, to just relax their shoulders. I've got you. This is what Alicia says. Aquarius is connected to the nervous system, and right off the bat, Alicia is saying, if you might be feeling nervous, it's also connected energy. If you might be feeling a lot of energy, it's okay. You can relax. And then she goes off to say the audience is so sparkly and gorgeous, and we know Aquarius is connected to sparkles and the stars in the sky. And Aquarius is making it not about them, it's making it about the group. So let's tune in to a clip from the Grammys.
Everybody make some noise for the host of the 61st Annual Grammy Awards, 15-time Grammy Award winner, musical superwoman, Alicia Keys.
An incredible night. That was so much fun. I was back there. I was part of it. Welcome to the 61st Annual Grammy Award. Do you feel that love in the building? This is love. This is life. This is living. This is light. And all because of music. Music is so powerful. So I want everybody, you see, we're going to have an incredible time tonight. This is just the beginning. So I want everybody in here who might be feeling a little nervous, might be feeling a little, a lot of energy. Just let your shoulders drop. Just know that I got you. I'm going to take care of you tonight. I got you tonight. Yes, I do. The audience is so sparkly and gorgeous. I'm loving it. First of all,
so Aquarius is also connected to sisterhood and brotherhood, and Aquarius is connected to celebrating diversity and bringing people together. And this is exactly something that Alicia did as the host of this award ceremony, where then she announced that she would like to bring 4 different women out. And what was interesting about this is it was 2 fire signs and 2 earth signs, and the fire signs were on the outside. So we got Lady Gaga and J-Lo. Lady Gaga's an Aries, fire. J-Lo's Leo, fire. And these 2 women walked out on the outside. And then on the inside, we had Michelle Obama and Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith is a Virgo. Michelle Obama is Capricorn, Queen of Capricorn, and they were in the middle holding space in that earthy way. And each of these women had an opportunity to talk about how music had influenced their life, which is also cool because Mercury, the planet of communication, just moved into Pisces this past week, right at the beginning when the Grammys happened. So here we are in a very Aquarian way, shining a light to the collective, but we're talking about a Piscean theme, which is music. So they went in order. I wanted to highlight this because the women spoke in the order of their astrological signs. So, of course, we started off with Aries with Lady Gaga. So let's pause right there and hear the way that Aquarius, Alicia, introduces these 4 other women, bringing the collective together, celebrating diversity.
This is a celebration. And y'all didn't think I was coming out here by myself, did you? Please, can I bring some of my sisters out here tonight? Tell them what it is, Gaga.
They said I was weird. That my look, my choices, my sound, that it wouldn't work. But music told me not to listen to them. Music took my ears, took my hands, my voice, and my soul. And it led me to all of you and to my little monsters who I love so much.
And so Aries, right, we hear in Lady Gaga's presentation, is about the self. It's about being an individual. It's empowering the self through action, through ambition, through individuality. So she's talking about herself. They told me I was weird. And they started off with Aries, because there's some sort of energy that Aries has as initiating. And so it's using this passion to inspire others to also do the same, to be individuals, to be taking action, to be ambitious. And then next we go into Leo, and I want you to feel the shift, because Leo comes next after Aries in regards to the 4 signs that these women are. And so I want you to hear if you can feel any of the Leo themes.
Back in the Bronx, music gave me a reason to dance, from hip-hop to freestyle pop, soul, and salsa. And it kept me moving from the block to the big stages and even bigger screens. It reminds me where I come from, but it also reminds me of all the places that I can go. Yes. Music has always been the one place we can all feel truly free.
And so what you can't see here is that J-Lo is actually wearing a really big hat and is giving us this regal presence. And it's through this fixed fire nature that Leo is through fire, right? It's uplifting, inspiring others to also shine their light. So there is more of a fixed nature here in this Leo energy. And then next we go into Virgo. So let's tune into that.
We express our pain, power, and progress through music, whether we're creating it or just appreciating it. But here's what I know. Every voice we hear deserves to be honored and respected.
Amen. Amen.
I'm not sure who's saying amen there. I think it might be Michelle Obama, but that was Jada Pinkett Smith talking about her connection to music, and it was taking us to church. That's something that we said that Virgo does. It's the maiden energy. It's connecting us to purity. It's eliciting a reverent connection to Mother Earth through service and devotion. And so we feel that then. And then we go into the final person that Alicia brought up on the stage, which was Capricorn. So it goes Aries, Leo, Virgo, Capricorn. And so our queen of Capricorn, Michelle Obama, speaks next. And before we listen to that clip, I just want to point out that she received a standing ovation. Capricorn's connected to public appearance, to leadership, to empowerment, but it's also a cardinal earth sign. So when we look at this order, it goes Aries, which is cardinal fire, Leo, which is fixed fire, Virgo, which is mutable earth. So it went cardinal, fixed, mutable, and now we're going back into cardinal. So it's actually going in order. So cardinal earth is keeping things moving. And as she's receiving the standing ovation, Michelle says, all right, we got a show to do, which is Capricorn, keeping it moving. But I want you to listen into what she shares and see if you can feel into the Capricorn themes.
From the Motown records I wore out on the South Side. All right, you all. All right. We got a show to do. From the Motown records I wore out on the South Side to the Who Run the World songs that fueled me through this last decade, music has always helped me tell my story. And I know that's true for everybody here. Whether we like country or rap or rock, music helps us share ourselves, our dignity and sorrows, our hopes and joys. It allows us to hear one another, to invite each other in. Music shows us that all of it matters. Every story within every voice, every note within every song. Is that right, ladies?
Yes,
Right, Michelle?
She says all of it matters, bringing us into the collective energy. Capricorn is our collective earth feels. It's also grounded. It's bringing a depth of emotion to this earth plane. And then finally, Alicia rounds it off by facilitating collective intention in that Aquarian way to amplify a sense of hope for the future. And it's taking us from the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn into the fixed air sign, bringing it back to this intention of celebrating greatness of everyone. Again, it's connected to sisterhood. And so seeing these 5 women who are all different astrological signs brought together by this Aquarius host, it just felt too in alignment with Aquarius season. And since Alicia Keys on that same day was going up against Rosa Parks, I just wanted to highlight it. And so let's tune into this last part so you can feel back into the Aquarian energy.
What is better than this? There's nothing better than this. Tonight we celebrate the greatness in each other, all of us, through music. I'm taking it in, excuse me. Who runs the world? Thank you so much, ladies, for your light, your message, your love, your sisterhood. I love y'all so much.
We love you.
Give it up for these magnificent goddesses.
And also Alicia Keys on the Grammys that night performed in front of a starry night sky background. You can't make this stuff up. Alicia Keys is also known for being revolutionary with her words, but in addition has also sparked a no makeup revolution. Her answer to why she wears no makeup is also very Aquarian. She says, quote, "It's about being our own unique selves. We each have something that no one else has." So her songs are uplifting and inspiring. They arouse a sense of hope. I'm thinking of An Empire State of Mind. There's nothing that you can't do, giving us that Aquarius high vibe. But also, there's a sense with her that is taking us beyond her music. Alicia Keys is a global activist who has been involved in the fight against HIV/AIDS for over 12 years. She is the founder of Keep a Child Alive Foundation, which provides medicine for children with HIV and AIDS in Africa and India. In 2014, she co-founded the We Are Here movement to engage and educate others about the many issues that together prevent equality and justice across our world. And so, Alicia Keys, you were definitely giving us that high vibe Aquarian feel, but in the end, you all voted and you were feeling Rosa Parks, putting Rosa Parks in our Aquarius Final Four with Audre Lorde. But something has continued to happen. If you listened last week, we were noticing patterns with the percentage of votes. And so if you add up the percentage of votes that Rosa Parks received from both rounds and Audre Lorde received from both rounds, they both received 123 points each. So the number 1, 2, 3 is appearing, making Rosa and Audrey tied for first place for Queen of Aquarius. This has never happened before. There's been direct links to being tied with the number of votes in this Queen of Aquarius, which is showing Aquarius's connection to having no hierarchy and that we're all in this together. The number 1, 2, 3 is also evoking the spirit of expansion or evolution. It could be called the stairway to heaven or the stairway to the stars in angel numbered terms. In our next corner, we had Oprah Winfrey go up against Etta James. Not going to go too much into Etta James' life, but Oprah Winfrey was voted into our final 4, putting Oprah in there with another 88 points. She received 88 points the first round, 88 points this round. So now we have this quadruple 8 number happening here with Oprah. So I wanted to talk about the number 8888 that Oprah is connecting us to. I did a little research, and what I found is that the angel number 8888 is often related to wealth and power and is synonymous with its connection to spirituality. It says people who correspond with the number 8888 are to achieve financial recognition for their spiritual contributions. So now Oprah Winfrey is going into our Queen of Aquarius Final 4 and is the highest scorer ever in the Queen of the Zodiac history, making her at the top right now. And then in our final corner, we have one more queen to put into the Aquarius Final 4. We have Regina Spektor going up against Angela Davis. And so let's talk a little bit about Regina Spektor. Regina Spektor is one of my favorite musicians of all time. I have a tattoo on my body that's inspired from one of her songs. So there's a song where she plays piano on one hand and drums on a chair on the other hand. And one of her t-shirts has a sketch of a chair. And so that shirt wore out after like a decade of wearing it, and so I got it tattooed on my inner left arm, so it's right by my heart. Regina Spektor, yeah, let's talk about her. I'm going to pull up some notes that I have here. So Regina Spektor is a Russian-born American singer-songwriter, pianist, composer, and multi-instrumentalist. She was born in Moscow, which was then the Soviet Union and is now Russia, and began classical training on the piano at the young age of 6. When she was 9.5 years old, her family immigrated to the United States. What feels very Aquarius about Regina is her ability to confidently claim her individuality that's breaking us free from established structures. So Aquarius is our superconscious rebel. This is breaking us free from what we're evolving off of with Capricorn. So she was part of the anti-folk scene that was centered in New York City's Lower East Side, and her collection of work observes the rules of established mainstream music while deliberately breaking them. So her music is known for being raw and experimental while still intellectual and well orchestrated. Her music shines a light to the power of friendship, sisterhood, and community. Her songs are greatly inspired by her cultural upbringing as a Jewish immigrant and show influences from Russian folk, anti-folk, indie punk, hip-hop, jazz, and classical music. Her lyrics are eclectic, often taking the form of abstract narratives or first-person character studies. So her music is similar to short stories or vignettes put to song. So Spektor usually sings in English, though she sometimes includes a few words of verses of Latin, Russian, French, and other languages in her songs. So I want to play you a clip from one of my favorite songs by Regina Spektor. It's called The Ghost of Corporate Future. And so here, corporate Capricorn, we're coming off of that energy, and she's talking about the future as well. So what would it be like if the ghost of corporate future came and talked to you? And so the lyrics from this song is, everything is plastic, everyone's sarcastic, all your food is frozen, it needs to be defrosted. You think the world is ending, you think the world is ending, you think the world is ending right now. So Aquarius is actually, one of the themes is the apocalypse and social anxiety that might be connected to that, and things that might be happening on the global scale and environmentally that might lead to this apocalyptic energy. So she's directly singing about it here, right? But then she goes, in the very Aquarian contrarian way, kind of flips it and says, well, maybe you should just kiss someone nice, or lick a rock, or both. Or maybe you can cut your own hair, because that can be so funny. It doesn't cost any money, and it always grows back. Hair grows even after you're dead. And so something that's really cool about Regina Spektor and her lyrics and the way that she writes songs is that she's giving us the side of Aquarius that is eccentric, is out there, is giving us the Fool card and the tarot energy of Aquarius, which is something that we've seen in this Queen of Aquarius tournament, is that those who are exuding the energy of the Fool, like Carol Channing, we could even say Ellen DeGeneres, didn't make it as far as the women who are exuding the energy of the King of Swords, which is bold authority, very fixed way of communicating intellect. So we have this kind of juxtaposition, and ideally our Queen of Aquarius is going to give us feels on both sides. But for now, let's tune into a little clip from Ghost of Corporate Future so you can feel into Regina's Aquarian ways.
People make you nervous, you think the world is ending, and everybody's features have somehow started blending, and everything is plastic, and everyone's sarcastic, and all your food is frozen, it needs to be defrosted. You think the world was ending, you think the world was ending, you think the world was ending right now. You think the world was ending, you think the world was ending, you think the world was ending right now. Well, maybe you should just drink a lot less coffee and never ever watch the 10 o'clock news. Maybe you should kiss someone nice or lick a rock or both. Maybe you should cut your own hair, 'cause that can be so funny. It doesn't cost any money, and it always grows back. Hair grows even after you're dead.
She goes on in this song to take it a little bit deeper and to connect us to the cosmic collective feels of Aquarius. And she says, people are just people. They shouldn't make you nervous. The world is everlasting. It's coming and it's going. If you don't toss your plastic, the streets won't be so plastic. And if you kiss somebody, then both of you will get practiced. The world is everlasting. But then she kind of like switches gears and makes it a little bit quirky in that Aquarian way. So she says, the world is everlasting. Put dirt balls in your pocket. Put dirt balls in your pockets and take off both your shoes. Because people are just people. People are just people. People are just people like you.
People are just people, they shouldn't make you nervous. The world is everlasting, it's coming and it's going. If you don't toss your plastic, the streets won't be so plastic. And if you kiss somebody, then both of you'll get practice. The world is everlasting, put dirt balls in your pocket. Put dirt balls in your pocket and take off both your shoes. 'Cause people are just people, people are just people. People are just people like you. People are just people, people are just people. People are just people like you. The world is everlasting, is coming.
Regina's music also heavily explores the technology side of Aquarius. In her song Machine, she captures an apocalyptic sci-fi feel, working around Aquarian themes of the future and the internet. She says, my eyes are bifocals, my hands are subjointed, I live in the future. And I'm upgraded daily, all my wires without traces. I'm hooked into machine. I'm hooked into machine. So let's tune into this clip from the song so we can also feel that she's not even just collectively connected and aware to other people and that the world is ending, but there's also this interest in technology. So the way that she performs She uses a broad range of vocal capability. She has a falsetto extension, which you might have heard at the end of that last clip, but is normally done without any apparent break. So she explores a variety of different and somewhat unorthodox vocal techniques, such as verses that are composed of entirely buzzing noises made with her lips, or she might beatbox in some sort of style that flourishes in the middle of the ballad. And also, as you're saying, she uses unusual musical techniques, like with a drumstick on the body of a chair. So let's tune into this song and feel into the technology side of Aquarius.
Eyes are bifocal. My hands are sep-jointed. I live in the future, in my pre-war apartment, and I count all my blessings. I have friends in high places, and I'm upgraded daily. All my wires without traces, hooked into machine, hooked into machine, hooked into machine. I'm hooked into.
So you can really feel the technology side there. Aquarius is also connected to freedom and liberation for all. Aquarius works to free humanity, so it is connected to prisons, slaves, and all forms of incarceration. Regina's work with the theme song for Orange is the New Black reflects this theme. You might know her from that song. Regina continues to write theme songs for TV shows and films, including 500 Days of Summer, Weeds, Grey's Anatomy, The Chronicles of Narnia. She also, in her recent years, has expanded into a spirituality. This is cosmic air, delivering cosmic truths that are connecting us to spirituality. This is Aquarius. So in her song Laughing With, she talks about how no one's laughing at God during disasters. But then at the end, she kind of has this little punchline and she says, we're all just laughing with God. And you might remember last week on the show, we were talking about how Aquariuses have bright smiles, and Brandon Alter, our Aquarian friend whose birthday is the day after mine on the 15th. Happy birthday, Brandon.